About 20 years ago, I still can't forget what happened at the junkyard. After returning home from completing compulsory military service and with nothing else to do, I reluctantly started working at my father's request in the junkyard he runs. My assigned duty was night security, as there were thieves attempting to steal auto parts. One day, I heard the sound of a woman's laughter from somewhere. My anxious heart led me toward the source of the sound. To my relief, I discovered it was emanating from an old radio. In that moment, boom! Startled, I turned around to find my coworker laughing mischievously. Annoyed by his prank, I threatened to tell my dad that he was getting paid while goofing off. He then quickly apologized but audaciously asked me to tell my dad to give him a raise because he is such a hard worker. I thought he was very brazen, but since he often played jokes, I just took it as another joke. He worked with me at night as a second job. He said he also works at a local auto repair shop during the day as a mechanic, but I doubt he is trained. He knows how to take out the parts, but I doubt he could put them back together again. That evening we were chatting and joking around as usual. Suddenly, bright headlights illuminated the entrance to the junkyard. It looked like a tow truck. We walked closer to the entrance, and sure enough, it was a tow truck pulling in with a mangled vehicle behind. The tow truck driver said it was a vehicle involved in an accident just now, and sadly the passenger died at the scene. Looking at the condition of the vehicle, it was definitely a serious accident. I wonder if there's anything salvageable. The accident was so severe that some of the bloodstains still remained inside the smashed vehicle. My coworker went inside the vehicle to register, and while inspecting the odometer and a few other things, something slimy fell on his face. What fell on his face was a small piece of flesh with hair still attached. Disturbed, he muttered,
"They didn't properly take care of the vehicle after the accident."
It was common to see some bloodstains inside vehicles involved in accidents, but this kind of situation was quite rare, even for my coworker who's been in the car scrapping business for a long time. Despite his efforts to stay calm, he was visibly disturbed. He finally accepted the vehicle to register. A few days has passed since the disturbance. My coworker, a mechanic, came and told me something that's unlikely of him to say.
"Do you want to hear a ridiculous story? Don't laugh, but I saw a ghost."
You saw a ghost? Where? In your dream? I was holding in my laugh.
I'm serious, I saw it right here.
I was extremely bewildered. While we were working together for over a year, he has never once shared any scary stories, let alone ones about ghosts. I was taken aback when he suddenly, out of the blue, sharing an incident he had encountered a few days ago. He was working late into the night, stripping some of the parts. All of a sudden, the alarm went off from one of the vehicles, blaring into the quiet night. He approached, only to recognize the vehicle from a recent accident, where a piece of flesh with hair had dropped onto his face. Thinking there must be a short somewhere during the crash, he climbed into the driver's seat to turn off the alarm. But suddenly, a woman covered in blood staring at him through the windshield. It startled him so much that he immediately jumped out of the car. "What are you talking about? Are you drinking while you're at work? There is no such thing as a ghost."
I'm serious. I saw that woman ghost. You know, the incident with the hair from last time? I think it was from her.
Up until that moment, my mechanic friend had dismissed it as a mere figment of his imagination. But on that particular night, he rushed in, with heavy breathing in and out, and said,
"I saw that woman ghost again."
While working under the hood, he looked to the side for a moment. There was a woman crawling on the ground, muttering something like,
"Not here. It's not here. It's gone. Gone."
He said it looked like she was looking for something. Honestly, I thought he was just crazy because I didn't believe in ghosts. It was December 31st, New Year's Eve. My mechanic friend and I had decided to have a modest party to welcome the new year. As a commemorative gesture, my mechanic friend had brought along an old digital camera, suggesting we take a photo to mark the occasion. He was busy taking pictures of me while I struck goofy poses. After finishing taking pictures, he handed me the camera and was looking at the photos we had just taken. But wait, what's this? There's a blurry image of a woman behind me. She's smiling faintly. She's definitely in the picture. Hey, look at this. I turned to show the picture to my mechanic friend, but he wasn't there. What? He was just here a moment ago, handed me the camera. I called out his name and began looking for him. Hey, stop joking around. But then suddenly a honking noise came from one of the scrapped vehicles. I ran towards the vehicle and opened the door. Inside the vehicle, my mechanic friend was moving around like crazy, as if looking for something, and muttered,
Not here. It's not here. It's gone. Gone.
and his behavior was too bizarre and shocking. He was behaving exactly like that woman ghost he had described to me before. Then he jumped out of the car and ran for a bit and collapsed onto the ground and fainted. I rushed over and woke him up, but he seemed clueless about why he was here and had no idea what had happened. You were moving around in the car like a madman, don't you remember?
What are you talking about? That woman was chasing after me.
According to him, after he handed me a camera for me to look, he headed to the restroom. But then, all of a sudden, the woman appeared again and he quickly went around, was hiding behind the car to avoid her. In the midst of that, I suddenly felt like all the puzzle pieces fell into place in my head. Could it be that my mechanic friend had gotten possessed by the ghost of the woman who died in the accident? That's why he was wandering around the junkyard like this every night? Even though I didn't believe in ghosts at first, I finally came to a conclusion that it was the only logical answer to his strange behavior. But why did that woman ghost torment my mechanic friend so much? After some confusing nights, I could no longer see my mechanic friend anymore. He said he couldn't work here anymore and left this place. A few days later, someone entered the office looking for an item he had lost from a car he had recently scrapped. This man was the fiancé of the passenger who had died in the vehicle involved in that accident. He asked if I had come across a watch while scrapping the car. Are you sure it was in the car? Sometimes items are lost at accident sites. He earnestly pleaded with me to check for it just once, as it was sentimentally valuable to him. The missing item was a watch, a gift for their engagement. Tragically, his fiancée had passed away at the accident scene on their way back from picking up the watch. Upon hearing this story, I immediately headed to the room where my mechanic friend was staying. I thoroughly searched through his belongings and, sure enough, discovered a shiny new watch inside a drawer. It was then that I realized why the ghostly woman had been repeatedly muttering,
Not here. It's not here. It's gone. Gone.
That's why my mechanic friend went crazy. It was all because he took the watch that she values so much.